Another day in paradise. Well, welcome to First Fridays. We've made it to spring, God damn it. It's been cold out here and rainy, but you guys have hung in there. I love it. And thank you to all the poets and the musicians and Jessica for coming. I have actually a couple of announcements to make. One is that inside our studio, we have an amazing young artist's work, Giulia Porcu, and I want you guys to go in and take a look at her work. It's amazing work, and we're doing an opening tonight with that. The second announcement is that I have a story that actually comes out of predating our 75th anniversary, which is this year. And what I want to do, it comes out of actually the heritage, not just the anniversary, but the heritage that goes back to the beginning of North Beach iconoclast reality in the 1920s and the 1930s. And those of you who have followed our newsletter, MailChimp, will recognize the name of this story, what this story is about. There was at one time in this neighborhood a place called the Black Cat. Yeah, and the Black Cat was actually the hangout in the Depression era of the Bohemians. And the Bohemians predated the Beats by 20 years. And they were really the first iconoclast characters and movement in the United States, like all of us here, right? They actually were the inspiration, but they also were very, very broke and hungry a lot of the time because it was the Depression. And so they went a lot of times to cafes and places that were very friendly to artists and poets and performers and actually fed them. One of those places was the Black Cat. And they were run by this guy, Hungarian guy, Charlie Haberkorn, and his partner, who never had a last name, but she was equally more of a character. Her name was Poochie, okay? So Charlie Haberkorn and Poochie ran this place. And there was also a painter by the name of Cornelius Sampson, who had this habit of running up a bar bill, walking into the place and saying, "Drinks on me," right? And so he wound up running up a bar bill with Charlie and Poochie, right? And he had to do a painting and a mural, which will be the next story next month about that painting and mural, in order to celebrate and pay off his bar bill, which celebrated all of the characters that actually inhabited the Black Cat. But this story that I have here, it comes out of, is written by a woman who was one of the leading characters in the Black Cat. Her name was Anne O'Neill, and she titled this story, "How Black Was the Cat?" It had always been there, an inconspicuous doorway on the first floor of an old stone building next to the Chinese broom factory. Italians who worked in the factory could smell the garlic and the red wine issued from the cafe, the neighborhood lunch. And that smell of garlic and red wine issued from the swinging doors. At night, they would return and drink more red wine or have a game of cards. The din and the silent interior would reveal a few figures bent over the bar or a little table in back. Then one of the Italians began bringing his accordion, and there was music, which attracted an artist recently returned from Paris. He pronounced the place exactly like my Parisian workman's Bristow, and began dropping in of an evening to play piano along with the delighted accordionist. He brought his friends. The Black Cat was made. The proprietor, a stout German Swiss with a guttural accent and a deceptive appearance of being abyss and half asleep, seemed to have been waiting for this all his life. Charlie made no effort, merely sat back and let things happen. Let anything or almost anything happen. And he was generous in the matter of bar bills and free lunches for those who were in need then, as almost everybody did. For these were the Depression days. And on Telegraph Hill, where zigzagging paths still led to the crooked shacks and where artists and writers lived, dozens of young people sat out long, jobless, hungry days as best as they could. The artists painted without stopping, and the writers pounded their typewriters until their fingers were numb. But not even an artist or a writer with a lot on his mind can keep it there forever. And that was where the Black Cat came in. It was not long before Charlie and his establishment were providing serious competition for Izzy Gomez up the street on Pacific, long a favored gathering place for San Francisco's bohemia. But with the changing mood of the 30s and the passing of the old freewheeling Prohibition era, Izzy's days as a club, a rendezvous, paratara, and home from home for all those who have none are numbered. And the Black Cat is where there was filled the gap. Moreover, the Black Cat begins earlier and seems to end later. Walk into this mid-afternoon, just say any day, doors open to the street, bright sunlight falling across the bar. It was very quiet, and Charlie is propped against the far end, taking delusionary swipes now and then at an imaginary spot with a deep rag, and ideally chewing a toothpick. His tame canary, released from its cage, perched on a fern by the big front window, then hops back down to the bar where there are more vacant stools and customers. There is an artist or two nurturing a hangover or a fugitive from an easel, and a girl is at the piano softly playing regular songs to herself. There are a few writers taking time out, and chessboards are in use in the back tables. Nobody is drinking much of anything but beer, and the atmosphere is, in a way, full of business. If anyone talks about art at the Black Cat, it is now Picasso and Renoir and Van Gogh and Gauguin, together with the local greats and near greats, are given a good going over. And this is the time to discuss works in progress, curse over canvas, damn the typewriter, read poetry aloud, gossip, and tell stories. The affairs of the world are settled and unsettled daily there, and groups which have lingered over late lunches and a fresh bottle of wine are surprised when 5 o'clock comes and it is nearly time for dinner. Now the lucky girls who have jobs begin to arrive in their neat little suits and round felt hats. They ate soon and joined their equally fortunate male counterparts, and the neighborhood habituates too, who are flocking in. Suddenly the place is full, and someone puts a nickel in the jukebox. Since this is the era of Glenn Miller, Tommy Dorsey, and the big bands, what comes out is worth listening to. That's her commentary on music in the future. Somewhere along the line, Ella Fitzgerald sings a Trisket a Tasket and joins such things as the bonny banks of Loch Lomond as were never dreamed of by the Scots composer of the song. Belle Marbelis du Chillon, carols, and Andrew Sisters in impeccable three-part harmony. There is a buzz of conversation, and couples head together after the third drink are already getting sentimental and talkative, or however it is their way to get. The prevailing mood is one of almost domestic coziness, and with darkness falling, Charlie judges it as time to pull the swinging doors shut and does so. But there will be action any minute. It's still early, and one of the neighborhood beloved drunks, Irish, handsome, and a devil with the ladies, lunges sideways through the door, and almost as soon as Charlie has closes it, and every head in the place goes up, At least 3 girls present are madly in love with him, and 2 of them hastily desert their companions to rush to his side. He shrugs, laughs, and throws an arm around each one of them as they support him in triumph to the bar. One of the girls is quick to buy him a drink. After watching a minute, runs her hands carelessly through his black, curly hair and turns away. The advent of this one figure seems to turn the quiet bar into a scene of hilarious festivity as groups mingle. Guests greet each other and sit down and eat. The Irish table is the most popular by all odds. Snatches of Gaelic songs are heard above the jukebox, and bursts of laughter are loud and frequent. Exactly. By the dessert time, a girl is up on a table, skirts kilted far above her knees, executing a sword dance among the cups, saucers, and glasses. It is all like a loud, crowded, extremely private party, and it becomes more so as the hours wear on. At the peak of the evening, a few tourists attracted by the throbbing jukebox and the sounds of general revelry attempt to crowd the way in. Tourist was then the generic term, not at all complimentary for anyone from the west of Izzy's Gomez's line at Stockton and Pacific. These intruders have greatest difficulty in ordering drinks at the bar, now packed 3 deep with regulars. And I'm going to let it go from there and read the second half next week. Excellent. I would like to bring up Giulia Porcu to talk a little bit about her work, and then we're going to have Jessica to introduce the poets here.
My name's Giulia. Thank you so much for having my pieces in your beautiful shop. I started my artist journey this year, actually. I spent a few years away from my hometown in Martinez, California, and was just trying to figure out what my life was, and I thought I had all the answers, and really I was straying farther and farther away from the answer that I already knew. And here I am now displaying my art to all you wonderful people and many more, hopefully, in the city of San Francisco. It's exciting. Most of my pieces are a piece of me, and I hope that when you guys go in there and you look at it, you can see the presence that my pieces have. That's the presence that I would like to have, and I channel that within my art, and I channel that through the works that I create, and I hope that all of you can experience the same as I do with my pieces. That's pretty much all I got for you right now. Thank you. Thank you.
I will just randomly pick a few poems. So I opened up to this one. It's called Charlottesville. A government system marked by centralization of authority is a dictator's priority. Crush the opposition, terror, censorship, embrace belligerent racism, the inferiority of non-whites, fear the browning of America, shoot, cage, take away, march in Charlottesville, defend Confederate monuments, carry kill the Jews signs, a torchlight. There was proof that night that our flag was still there, indivisible and justice for all. Don't rise up for the pledge or the banner, bring a hammer. The bombs bursting in air, rock against fascism, stand with the street punks, boots and braces, don't make a racist, fuck skinheads, KKKs, fuck Nazi sympathy. Aquatic Park. The deceived sea, fish, seaweed, its salt fizzes in sand, then the waves recede back into the rest of water, taking things. The Marin Hills, hazy, gray today, bored in the white fog light, holding up the bridge. A seal butterflies past the SS Jeremiah as the sun drowns in the tide, closing in on shifting water. Until when crop disappears in late autumn and the soil already waits. Is it the birds leaving, causing it? The lack of song? Or is it the gypsies who don't arrive dancing on the land? The Adirondacks. Clouds have black spots, but rain is an illusion. The green tennis ball rests in oatmeal blades by the placid lake. The small child skips alone, looking for the ball. Nobody wants to play. Her blonde curls droop. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. Maybe I'll read a few more later. Next I'd like to introduce Sarah Menifee.
Wow, it's nice to be here. Thank you, Jessica, for doing these. And you know what? We all come up here on the first Friday to warm up. So everything's on the phone these days. So. Live. You know what? No, it's beautiful. Actually, it's a beautiful evening. You always lose one sock and one glove. Black boat. Son, when you sink, take me with you in your black boat. Rage bounces off these cafe walls. Someone dark and tall with black bundles on howls his dispossession. Respect wrapped up in cellophane. A primal weep creeps in from the ocean, cold and black and deep. Homeless himself, though right now sheltered with me, he runs in to find some of his old clothes to give the small man who sleeps on the streets around here, bare but for sliding down pants. Yesterday, the coldest day with its blowing icy rain. He will die. I told him he needed to put on some clothes. I think he's from some other country stranded here. We are the light of the world. This is a quote. I've never seen so much inhumanity. May this place burn down. Pluto's den. Who doesn't love the brass and the wind? Who doesn't underground here in the level between Pluto's den and the street, where we scavenge and sell? Our hell is where we pitch our tents to love and play our tunes to the wind. Movie. When you and I lived together poor and affectionately, you turned on the TV saying maybe there will be a W.C. Fields movie on, and there was a one-time miracle. The fingers you count love on are infinitely numbered, and laughter waits nearby. Spark. The air around you is the wonder I couldn't paint, a sparkling yellow that's never been seen. I watch you walk by through the cream. Peach. I planted a peach pit, and after it grew up, it made white peaches for a few years. And after that, they became regular peaches. The tree looked over an alley a half block up the steep hill from crowded Stockton Street in Chinatown. My friend Forbes Wittgenstein, who planted the tree, wrote in a poem or two of two different men murdered in their bedrolls, one first and then later the other there in Joyce Alley. A man from Vietnam under his tin cross was stabbed as he slept. A little memorial to him sprung up. And another guy, my friend wanted to warn, found battered in almost the same spot. I walk down the alley and see the naked switchy branches bearing delicate peach blossoms of bright, indescribable pink. Oh, peach of the immortals, have mercy. This is kids' play for Stacy Hill. Back when they were bricking Market Street, we kids would go by and pick up just a few bricks, and pretty soon we'd have a pile. I made a bathtub out of them, lined with tiles. It worked really well. Stacy told me as we sat gazing out this Market Street cafe, how many constructive years on, both of us full of tales. You are bad, I said. I will have them make you a brutalist doghouse. Would you like that? Yes. In this infinite concrete lotus land. This is for my friend Khalif, whose birthday is tomorrow. He says, all these years it always lands on Easter. I said, well, it's landing right between this time. So anyway, I wrote this today. For Khalif. Beloved friend's birthday is tomorrow, right between the crucifixion and the arising. How perfect his balancing of strength and beauty, my friend of 32, on this glorious and mournful planet. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah Menifee. And next, please welcome Michael Koch. All right.
It's really a great pleasure to be here. Is my voice carrying okay? It's really amplified. So we're 3 weeks into spring, so I'm going to read a few spring poems, which I've tended to do often during the course of the years. This is entitled Cheek and Bravado. Spring is here, all cheek and bravado. A green, savage wind brings us to our knees. Suddenly the moon is molten, the moon is sweet. Our lips are wet, we hear the beat. Look, giggling girls and grinning boys, agog with spring song. And it will warm up, you know, this is just the preamble to spring here. But and this is entitled Half Off on Everything for Spring. Step right up to the Fire Next Time sale. Everything must go. Arcs and animals, gutters and streams, phosphorescent flora, the drowned man dreams, pennies ripped from vending machines. Don't let your empty pockets deter you. Spring Equinox 2015. The earth is up to its old shenanigans, pal. A little day, a little night, some twilight breeze, a howling wolf, the crimson pollen of Mars flooding the trees. And did I mention Venus and her sturdy thighs, the blitzkrieg of April's sighs? What does it mean? Mr. F. Sharp Major married the Queen of the Black Keys and won't let go. Nature's bride is ripe and sweet and slow. Oh, spring, the sturgeon feel the call, the cagey southpaws do, and the green grass doing cartwheels, and the lunatic flowers, too. It's a friggin' carnival of cut-time solos and double-time rhyme, primo. You see, spring gets me very excited. It can't be helped. And this is a poem called After Delmore Schwartz. And at the Live Worms last week, someone had written a little piece from, I guess, a Rilke poem. And I didn't realize that Delmore Schwartz had done a kind of an adaptation of that, kind of I don't know, updating, a parody or whatever of that, a version of that. And so I wrote something, not knowing that, but entitled After Delmore Schwartz. Spring, like pungent lemons in a heap about to blow sky high. Boisterous schoolgirls spit mouthfuls of sunshine. Diaphanous code words dot the sky. What a resplendent truck careening down the highway, making sudden love-struck detours. This is entitled Fake Sonnet for Spring. The sun is so yellow and star-shaped that we're forced inside complex silences difficult to detect from just one position. I use the word we advisedly as a scarlet sunset climaxes repeatedly, its blue cap buffeting the horizon. The sun in question has zeroed in on a dog's scrotum in the foreground, or is it a vista of plum-colored foothills teeming with stucco motels where on the lamb embezzlers guzzle gin, waiting for laundry to dry? But you, galloping eohippus of my inner spring, are already dotted with burning spires, and the ash of lipstick-smeared butts is guiding us up, up, and away. And an eohippus, if you don't know, is like a proto-horse, like something that predated the horse, evolutionarily speaking. And this, entitled Spring 1989. Moon like whiskey in the black suitcase of the first language. Mercury's cryptic heat blooms through the window. Spring like a sexual scar, a souped-up car gunning through the exit wound of paradise. Good, thank you so much. I do, a couple other little spring things. Now that I'm on the theme and getting warmed up. Neptune's Purse, Spring. I've seen spring subtle, and I've seen spring wild. Its flowers the child of white lightning. Spring's color wakes us up and then it shakes us down. Clouds bloom in cracks and make a purple sound. Spring KO's Sugar Ray slaps him silly with a song. A feisty green fanfare straddles right and wrong. Some springs last a century, some stop short of birth. Some stow away in slave ships, stealing gold from Neptune's purse. Yeah. No, and I'll close with this. It's spring 1987. Springs just, they keep recurring year after year. It's a relentless march of time. But spring follows winter, as yellow the lion to its lair. Like primavera, spring comes, and we have no care but our sea-green souls and teeth of golden fire. When spring slips off its tights, the bird rises from the undertow, and we are sexy and eternal once again. Our wings glisten in the wind, our hands spill diamonds, our spines spill stars. Great. Yeah, let's hear it for spring. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Michael Koch. I'm going to read one more poem before Mauro Fortissimo and George Long close it out for us, performing A Season in Hell. Speaking of what could happen in the spring, because one never knows. A world without walls. The smell of fresh-cut lawns in sneezy New Jersey suburbs makes me think of people without homes, reminds me of dusty hay and deep cow manure on farm-lined roads and Skaneateles, which reminds me of the fossil fuels used to raise cattle for barbecued steaks and gas for all the cars and traffic jams on the turnpike. But the earthy smell of just-raked autumn leaves, me with the coming snow, which reminds me of scents from other negative ion emitters, the sappy pines and the salty ocean, which smells like it sounds. It reminds me of refugees on the run, drowning at sea, trying to flee. In a world without walls, this wouldn't be the ubiquitous responses to NOME everywhere, bringing the walls down, brick by inch by row. We gotta get there, make the garden grow, don't let the sun go down on us. In a world without walls, girls wouldn't be raped in Africa because some men think it'll cure their AIDS. Children wouldn't get bombed and maimed and killed in Damascus. They'd be at school learning the abacus and calculus. Kids wouldn't be sex trafficked in Hamtramck. They'd be home making ceramics. In a world without walls, climate change wouldn't be fake news. Maria and Katrina might have stayed home. And what about the sapphire sun from the flames? Even in San Francisco, the rancid, thick stench of burning cars, chemicals, scorched bodies in paradise. All the people who couldn't get out, which isn't pleasure. Here comes the sun. Where is the sun? We gotta get there. We gotta get there. Paradise now. And now, once again, please welcome Mauro Fortissimo and George Long performing A Season in Hell.
150 years ago, Arthur Rimbaud published A Season in Hell on the Drunken Boat. He was 18 years of age. After that, he quit the Parisian bullshit and bourgeois, moved to Africa, never to write again. So in celebration, George and I are going to perform A Night on Hell. But I'm going to get into character first.
It's perfect for spring.
I have swallowed a monstrous dose of poison. 3 times blessed with the counsel that came to me. My entrails are on fire. The violence of the venom twists my limbs, deforms and prostrates me. I die of thirst. I suffocate and cannot scream. It is hell, eternal punishment. See how the fire flares up again. How mildly I'll burn. Go to a demon. I have caught a glimpse of conversion to good and to happiness, salvation. Can I describe the vision? The air of hell will tolerate no hymns. There were a million charming creatures, a melodious sacred concert, strength and peace, noble ambitions, I don't know what else, noble ambitions. And still this is life. Suppose a nation were eternal, then a man who would mutilate himself is well damned, isn't he? I think I am in hell, therefore I am. It's the execution of the catechism. I am a slave of my baptism. Parents, you have been my undoing and your own, poor innocent. Hell has no power over pagans. This is life still. Later the delights of damnation will be more profound. A crime, quick, a crime, that I might fall into nothingness in accordance with human law. Be quiet. Do be quiet. There is shame and reprobation here. Satan, who says that the fire is contemptible, that my anger is silly. Enough. Fallacies, they whisper to me. Sorceries, false perfumes, childish music. And to think that I possess truth, that I perceive justice, that my judgment is sound and sure. I am right for perfection. Pride. My scalp is drying up. Pity, Lord, pity, I am afraid. I am thirsty, so thirsty. Childhood, the grass, the rain, the lake over the stones, the moonlight when the bell was chiming 12. The devil is on the belfry at this hour. Mary, Holy Virgin, horror of my stupidity. Out there are no haunted souls that wish me well? Come, I have a pillow over my head, over my mouth. They don't hear me. They're phantoms. Besides, no one ever thinks of others. I must smell scorch, I am sure. Hallucinations are without number. Truly, that is why I always known. No more faith in history. No more faith in history. Faith. Principles forgotten. I will keep quiet about that. Poets and visionaries will be jealous. I am 1,000 times the richest. Let us be as avaricious as the sea. What? The clock of life stopped a while ago. I am no longer in the world. Theology is serious. Hell is certainly down below, and heaven on high. Ecstasy, nightmare, and to sleep in a nest of flames. What tricks of observation in the country. Satan, old Nick, runs with the wild grains. Jesus walk on the purple briars and they don't bend. Jesus walk on troubled waters. The lanterns show him to us, erect, white, with a long blonde hair on the flank of an emerald wave. I am going to unveil all the mysteries, religious mysteries, natural mysteries, death, birth, the future, the past, cosmogony, nothingness. I am a master of phantasmagory. Listen, I have all the talents. There is no one here and there is someone. I will not squander my treasures. Do you want Negro songs, the dances of hours? Do you want me to vanish? To dive after the rain? Is that what you want? I could make gold, remedies. Have faith in me then. Faith assuage, guys, restore. Come, all of you, even the little children, that I might comfort you, that my heart might be poured out to you. The marvelous heart. Poor men, toilers. I do not ask for prayers. With your trust alone, I should be happy. What of me? All this hardly makes me regret the world very much. I am lucky not to suffer more. My life was nothing but sweet follies. It's a pity. Let us practice every manageable grimace. Sadly, we are out of the world. No longer any sound. My sense of touch has left me. My castle, my Saxony, my willow wood, evenings, mornings, nights, dates, how weary I am. I should have my hell for anger, my hell for pride, and the hell of laziness, a symphony of hells. I die of lassitude. It is the tomb. I go to the worms, horror of horrors. Satan, you fraud. You will dissolve me with your charms. I insist, a thrust of the pitchfork, a drop of fire, to rise again into life. To cast our eyes on our deformities and the poison that kiss 1,000 times a curse. My weakness, the cruelty of the world, my God, pity, hide me. I behave too badly. I am hidden. I am not. It is the fire that flares up again with its dam. Thank you. There's no more. Thank you, Jessica, and everybody here, Macchiarinis, all of you putting up with this freaking cold, man. Let's get out of here.
Yes, because after all, spring is here. It's getting warmer and warmer. Sometimes July is the coldest month of the year, but one can only hope. Anyway, thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you to all the poets. Makes a warm environment. I love this neighborhood. Thank you for Macchiarini Gallery. Thank you always to David for doing the sound, and Colin for videotaping these readings for Alcatraz Radio. Have a great night. Walk up the street. Check out the music at 101 Music Church Key. My friend Mike Dingle is playing with it in Mr. Dingle's neighborhood. It's quite fun. And then also at 9 p.m. up at Coit Tower on the back lawn, Coit Tower Poetry Club honoring Lenore Candell. So many things to do. The galleries are still open, so walk around the neighborhood, check it out.